Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miss Ariane Hugo, the Higher Education Registrar of the College of St. Anthony, and your host for today's learning session entitled Upskilling Staying Relevant in the Age of Automation. Thank you for making time for this very important webinar. Special thanks as well to the College of St. Anthony's partner organization, Job Street by Seek, for agreeing to speak before grade 12 and college students today. I would also like to remind everyone of the following. Please make sure to listen attentively to our speaker today. Maintain proper behavior by using respectful language and actions throughout today's meeting. Also, whenever possible, please keep your cameras on and your microphones muted as this meeting is being recorded. Feel free to take note of any questions and save them for the Q&A session toward the end of the program. And last but not the least, an attendance sheet will be provided after the seminar and Q&A. Only those who will get to fill out the attendance sheet will receive a certificate of participation. At this point, may I call on Ms. Joanne Manuel, College of St. Anthony accountancy student, to lead our opening prayer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let us all bow our heads and feel the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts, thanking you for this beautiful day and the opportunity to gather in this seminar. Thank you for the gift of learning and for allowing us to enrich our minds with new knowledge. We humbly ask for your guidance upon our speaker, Mr. Rafael de la Cruz. Please grant him wisdom and clarity as he shares his insights with us. Open our minds and our hearts so we may receive his teachings with understanding and enthusiasm. Lord, we also pray for a smooth and uninterrupted session. May there be no technical difficulties, allowing us to fully engage and benefit from today's seminar. We entrust this to you, knowing that all wisdom comes from you. We ask this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Saint Anthony Mary Claret, pray for us. In the name of the Father, of the Son, of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Joanne, for leading our prayer. And now, may we call on Eric John Isi, College of St. Anthony Multimedia Arts student, to introduce our resource speaker from Job Street by Seek.
Thank you so much, Ms. Arian. Mr. Rafael de la Cruz is the current candidate marketing lead at JobStreet Philippines. He is responsible for operationalizing virtual career fairs, among other campaigns. With over 10 years of experience in marketing, operations, market research, and analytics, Rafa led several campaigns from startups to established brands such as Grab, Globe, and MyNilan. As a seasoned marketer, Sir Rafael believes in finding a job for every Filipino. Webinar participants, let us all welcome to this e-meet Sir Rafael, also known as Sir Rafa, with a virtual applause.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to participate in your very important event today. I do understand that a lot of you right now would have some concerns regarding the topic which we have on hand, which would be automation and AI. And in addition to that, a lot of you are a bit uncertain on how to face your lives after graduating from both high school or from college and university. So I hope my presence here would be able to provide a bit of clarity towards the path in which you all will be taking. That being said, I do know it's just 2 p.m. right now and we just had lunch. Some of you are maybe inaantok pa. So please go right ahead and smash those emoji buttons right down there to show that you guys are alive and kicking. All right, there we go. So let me share with you my screen right now. So I'll be showing first our commercial from Job Street, just so that you can get to know a little bit about who we are, and talk about transition from there to our main topic. All right, I hope everybody can see my screen, and let me play this commercial for you. So yeah, that's us at Job Street. Our role really is beyond finding a job for you. It's really finding that best match, which would allow you to grow in your own careers. Parang yung sloth, hindi siya bagay as a lifeguard, but perfect chef as a yoga instructor. And I'm quite sure everybody, based on everyone's unique skill sets, there is a job specific that is right for you out there, and they're all found with us here in Job Street. So a bit of who we are. Just talking about pure numbers. We are the top jobs platform here in Southeast Asia, with more than 40 million candidate profiles across several countries: Philippines, Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and of course in our headquarters in Australia and New Zealand. We have more than 2.5 million companies or employers within our network. So if you want to find jobs, not just in the Philippines, but across the Southeast Asia and APAC region, we do have them in spades as well. And right now, JobStreet, as for the whole entity under Seek, we employ more than almost 4,000 total employees. So our mission really, you can disregard the numbers for now. Our mission and our vision can be summed up in a few words: a job for every Filipino. Especially during the pandemic. I don't know if you all still remember during the pandemic, this was really critical. We saw the importance of having a job in order to fulfill one's daily needs and requirements, and able to help one's family as well. So our role here in Job Street, we don't take it lightly, because we do understand that a lot of people's lives and dreams are depending on how well our platform is able to perform. There's just some details. Beyond just being a jobs platform, we do have other products as well, specific to, let's say, upskilling, search, job adder, sourcer. For volunteering, if you're interested in volunteer work, we do have that one under Seek Volunteer, and other products which we have under the Seek umbrella. Okay, now talking about, now we're zeroing into the Philippines. Under Job Street, we ran a survey previously on, similar to your case, for job seekers and for employees. What are the top companies that come top of mind when you think of ideal companies you'd want to work for? So these are the results. These are the top companies that we were able to identify, and all of them are in Job Street. These and 135,000 more employers are on Job Street on our platform. So once you make that step to look for your next dream job, please do so on our platform. Okay, so enough about Job Street, enough about Seek. Let's talk about the key topic at hand, which would be highly critical for you to develop your own careers. And that topic would be, of course, about AI and automation. Now, AI is already changing the future, our future in the workplace. I want to see a raise of hands, or even here in your emojis, how many students here currently use AI? Wala nang hiyaan when it comes to, let's say, drafting papers, presentations, creating visuals. Okay, I can see a couple of people. Ang dami. This is very promising. All right. I can see that the College of St. Anthony is very future ready when it comes to the use of AI. Now, let me give you an example. Um, One of the universities in Manila, I did this talk maybe earlier last year. I did this talk earlier last year, and I this was done face to face, and I asked for a raise of hands. How many students in a room full of 200 students are using or integrating AI in the workplace or in their classes? And sadly, out of 200, maybe 4 or 5 people only raised their hands. So this is very promising, and this is fantastic to see. No, so as mentioned, it's changing the future in the workplace and also in the classrooms. What are the things that it's currently doing, especially in the world of creative arts and media? It's really changing the landscape right now. For those that are familiar with the likes of Midjourney, with the likes of other editors, even Photoshop, of course, the utilization of these platforms to create very low cost and quick um, images is already replacing a lot of the work that humans human creatives are doing that would usually take around 10 to 15 hours to produce a creative. And in doing so, the integration of AI has lowered the barrier to entry for many fields. Now, I do know a lot of the students here. Again, I want to see people smashing the emoji bar over here. How many of you are interested to becoming YouTubers or influencers? There are a couple of people. Fantastic. If you go to YouTube right now or Facebook or Instagram, you would see that maybe 10 to 30% of the creatives right now, hindi na tao yung nagsasalita. It's an AI narrator doing it. And then the pictures and the images are done through AI as well. So you basically remove the individual from doing or appearing in front of the camera. So it's kind of scary at the same time. It's exciting. It's a new phase. It's bound to get a lot of abuse, and I would cascade what your mentors and of course your teachers in the College of St. Anthony would say when it comes to AI. You need to use AI responsibly. So responsible use dapat tayo rito, no? Maybe on top of this, I know none of the students here are using AI to cheat, but in college, there's this notable case in one of the top colleges here in the Philippines, where a student was caught cheating using AI to produce a reaction paper. And there are a lot of tools right now online to check if the materials that you've passed has been utilizing AI. So use AI responsibly, use it to check data, but make sure the ideas are yours and yours alone. Okay, ang daming sinabi. Okay, now, we want to know, here in the Philippines, gaano ba kalakas ang paggamit ng AI in the Philippines? Now, I am very excited to share. Just like the College of St. Anthony, the Philippines is on the leading edge in the use of AI. Now, globally, the average is 39% of all people use AI. In Southeast Asia, a bit higher at 44%. But here in the Philippines, 46% of individuals here in the country use AI monthly. And this is much higher compared to our neighbors, and of course, a lot higher compared to the global standard. This is because a lot of the opportunities right now you'll see in graphs later on are focusing on AI usage. There's a trend right now, which is quite predominant in the country, where we do a lot of work remote, where we work for countries in the United States, Australia, Canada, Europe, the UK, and we integrate a lot of these AI tools when it comes to their tasks, such as chat GPT in producing reports or articulating certain items, or when it comes to the creatives, as mentioned, the utilization of AI is very predominant with us here in the Philippines, hence the high adaptation. But it's not equally broken down to all of the specializations. As you can see here in the portion under the Philippines, it would be in the areas of digitalization, data science, AI, marketing, and media, so the creatives. But as you go down, of course, transport, logistics, supply chain management, not that high because AI really doesn't have yet a foothold in that industry, as well as the applications. There are certain applications within the fields here at the very bottom, but not as heavy compared to those that you can see on top. So okay, we know that the Philippines ang lakas gumamit ng AI, but we want to know who are those that use AI the most here in the country. And you guys must be so proud to know that it's your generation that utilizes AI predominantly here in our country. The Gen Zs, 64% of Gen Zs use AI in your daily tasks. As for the late to mid millennials, 50%. The early millennials, on the other hand, 44%. And the Gen Xers and above at 36%. We hope to see some growths in with these numbers, but especially in the purple one, the 35 to 44, that's the demographic in which I'm a part of. 44%, those are rookie numbers. We need to pump those numbers up. So, but in your area, 64%, 20 full percentage points above the early millennials, that is something. So you're using it more than a few times a week, both for work, school life, or personal life. So that is quite amazing. We can see really a strong integration here in the country when it comes to AI. Now, when it comes to work and in personal life, what are the different uses that we have for these? Now, if we're gonna think about, if I'm gonna ask a person in the room right now, what is the first AI platform that comes to mind for you? Most likely, it's gonna be Chat GPT, and Chat GPT right now is evolving to be the AI platform for everything. Before Chat GPT used to be text-based AI only. Now it's moving on to images, documents, news, everything. So it's crazy the evolution of AI, and we're in the early stages of seeing what AI can be. So this is really a new frontier for everyone. So that being said, ChatGPT being on the front line of these developments, most of the items that Filipinos use AI for would be on writing tasks, administrative tasks, creating reports, uh, obtaining studies, learning, research. Caution though on this third item here, studies, learning, research. Um, I'm not quite too sure if you know how generative AI works, but it utilizes the various information points that are available online in the World Wide Web. So if you ask, let's say, a topic on the war in Ukraine, and unfortunately, the data that is coming mostly from, hypothetically coming from the war in Ukraine, would be coming from the Russians, you would be led to think that based on the information that is being pulled, the Ukrainians are in the wrong when it comes to the war in Ukraine. When it's actually, well, it can be argued that they're not, right. Uh, there has also been a case where it comes to researches, and this has been noted in the United States for legal matters. There was this one person that relied solely on ChatGPT for their legal case and for drafting of the documents. The moment the judge found out, because the data was erroneous and the poll was erroneous, they had the said attorney, or at least one of the personnel from the law firm, disbarred. So kindly take it with a grain of salt. Items that you use for research via AI, make sure you're able to verify with actual content, with actual data. No? And of course, creative tasks are part of those use when it comes to Gen AI. Personally, I'm actually proud to say that most of the presentations that I've done, let it be the outline and the flow of the presentation, I've utilized AI for that one. What usually would take me around maybe half a day to work on takes me less than 2 to 3 minutes. But of course, that comes with a lot of polishing and a lot of know how, especially on specific topics that are quite sensitive. Now, when it comes to personal life, what are the things that we use AI on our daily lives? It's skills developing and learning, fact and general knowledge. Again, caution on this one. Caution so much on this one. And support for career advancement. So a lot of upskilling required for this one. Maybe another one for fact and general knowledge. There's this item called the 4 p.m. phenomenon. If you ask, let's say, Chat GPT or Midjourney to produce an image of a clock that says 4 p.m., it could not create that image, because all of the images that we have online, at least majority of the images that we have online, are either stuck at 10 o'clock or at 1 o'clock. That's an unfortunate fact. Another example would be the glass half full. Whenever you ask Chat GPT, at least before, I don't know if they've updated it, for a image of a wine glass that is full up to the brim, they would always show an image that is half full, never full, because most of the images that we have online are half full. So those are the limitations that we have for AI. So again, for work and personal life, there's a high level of penetration already in our day-to-day tasks. Now, end users, this one naman, we can brush through this. What is the general, bakit natin ginagamit yung AI in the workplace? What are the usages? It's really to reduce the time. As you can see here on top, it reduces the time taken to perform non-essential tasks, which is really the ideal setup of what AI should be doing. It should be reducing our non-essential tasks so that we can focus on the big picture items, strategy, so that we can focus on the direction of the organization rather than on menial tasks. That is the ideal utilization of AI. Now, how do we use AI naman in the workplace? Predominantly here in the Philippines, it's about reviewing first the data. It's utilizing AI in order to produce a certain output or exchange so that we can use this to submit either to your boss, to your client, what have you. That is the basic usage of AI. But ideally, again, caution on this one, especially in class. Don't just go passing details that you found on AI on the internet, actually anywhere else, without first vetting your sources. No, so after polishing, after going through the whole process of polishing the data, then push this data to where you need to have this data pushed. No? Okay, so we saw from the past, from the previous four slides, that the Philippines is a strong adopter, is an early adopter of AI. Not only is it because it gives us all the answers, but also because it is for free so far right now. We've seen the same trend from the internet more than 20, 25 years, 30 years ago now, when the internet first came out. Just like AI, it was the Wild West. Everything was for free, everything was accessed quite easily. So your stage right now, kindly enjoy it. You guys are lucky to be in this stage right now for this certain technology. But there are also challenges that faces us here in the Philippines when it comes to AI. And it has a lot to do with the way that our country is formed. We are an we are a archipelago. You can take a look at that picture icon that we have above the Philippines. We have 7,100 islands. So the problem that Globe Smart and Dito are currently facing is that you're gonna need to have all of these islands connected. And not everyone has the same advantages that we have here in Metro Manila or uh, in other close by provinces. It's going to be difficult. No, Bulacan, for example, I do know for a fact that some areas in Bulacan are rather quite hard to reach. So slow internet speed and other technical issues remain predominant here in the country. It's not like Singapore, we're such a small country. It's easy to connect connections. No, but with again with technologies hopefully down the line, for example like Starlink, I believe Europe is also creating their own version of satellite internet. Those are able to cut down our issues when it comes to challenges facing the Philippines in the use of AI. Okay, so ang dami kong sinabi. I gave the background of what AI is and what a fantastic tool this is to have when it comes to studying and as well as in working. But it's not all fun and games when it comes to AI. Unfortunately, this one would have a real world impact to the lives of people that are currently working in the workplace and those that are coming in as well. Okay. So AI right now has significantly changed the nature of work. When it comes to new technologies, there is usually a big pushback when it comes to the adaptation of this technology. A good example, maybe 150 years ago, if you went to España or to Intramuros, you would see nothing but calesas. If you wanted to go from point A to point B in the 1800s in Manila, the only way that you can do it on land would be via calesa. You would have the driver and of course you'd have the carriage, no? Or unless wala ka nun, you'll go on horseback. But 150 years later, you look in the streets of Manila, streets of Bulacan, you wouldn't see a carriage anymore. You wouldn't see a kalesa. Did it change the fact that you have a need to go from point A to point B? No, the need is still there, but it changed the mode of doing it. And there was significant pushback, of course, when it comes to adapting these technologies as well. A lot of people said that, no, no, no. Cars, these are just a fad. Walang papalit kay Brownie or kay Horsey sa if I do need to go to, let's say, a certain destination. But those that don't adapt tend to end in the wayside, and they lose out a lot in these fields, and unfortunately they need to make way for these new technologies. So jobs focusing on writing, creating images, coding, and other jobs, these are jobs that are significantly impacted right now. I can give you a real world example for this that occurred in the past 7 to 10 years. If you had if you have a smart or globe or dito postpaid or prepaid, and then you have a problem with your phone, of course you call customer service. You call customer service expecting talking to an actual living person. And back then, maybe 10 years ago, 7 years ago, that was true. But due to automation, due to AI, instead of talking to a person right now, if you called, let's say, Smart for a customer service concern, a AI would be prompt to respond to you. If not an AI, it's gonna be called what you call an IVRS, which tells you press one if you want to know about your balance, press two if your phone was stolen, and what have you. So those people that used to work as call center representatives for these companies, either they had to pivot in their job or they're out of work right now. So it's quite significant the impact of what AI and automation is able to do with the lives of people and their livelihood. Now, I was talking about earlier the impact of losing jobs. Now, this is a graph which we took in the past few years based on the rate in which people were laid off or had a significant decrease of working time, especially due to automation. And you can see that manual work, a lot of the blue collar type of work right now is being hampered by automation. 60%, quite significant. Now, if you're going to look at customer service, somewhere down the middle over here, it might not be significant, only at 34%. But if you look at the percentage of that bar, which is laid off, it has one of the highest, if not the highest, rate of being laid off in the past few years. And this is brought about by automation. But take a look at the bottom: IT technology, the digitalization, and automation. These two industries are somewhat insulated by AI, by automation, because they're the leading edge. These are the industries that develop and utilize them the most within their core scope. No, so if you want, this is in a nutshell. If you want to have a bit of job security when it comes to your your work in the next few years, it would be within that sphere. Okay, now job roles threatened by automation according to Filipino workers. Number three is media and information. Again, I've elaborated quite a bit on this one, uh, and it's not just this one. Okay, uh, if you saw in the graph earlier, areas like medicine and law, these are industries that are somewhat sheltered right now from the impact of AI. But just because they are sheltered right now doesn't mean they'll ever be sheltered in the next few years. No? So one needs to really adapt to the use of AI. There's this funny movie around more than a decade ago by Will Smith called AI, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I Robot, there you go. There was this movie called I Robot where Will Smith was interrogating this robot and saying, "Can a can AI create a Mona Lisa? Can AI create poetry? Can AI do all of these things that used to be associated with the human experience, no, the human condition?" If that movie was only made 15 years later, they would have thought that that was not a smart statement, because with the likes of Chat GPT, with the likes of Mid Journey, you can actually do that right now. So it's an exciting time. It's a scary time. So okay, I'm worried. No, I'm worried. What do I need to do in order for me to be secure from the or insulated from the impact of AI and automation? There's only one surefire way in order to be insulated, and that is to upskill. Now, if you upskill, there are three things that you're able to do when you upskill. Number one, uh, you make yourself indispensable to the organization. So you wouldn't be the first person to be fired within your organization. Number two, verticality. As you're able to bring more skills within the organization, you can be given more responsibility, as well as that in the form of a promotion. And then number three, attractiveness. Other people, other organizations would see that you bring more than just a single skill to the table and would want you to be part of their organization. No? Now, but before we get to there, I'd want to share with you this graph. Parang ang dami nito, ang daming sinasabi. What is this table trying to say? What is this graph trying to say? No. Okay, on the x-axis, on the horizontal axis, the further right you go, the more at risk you are when it comes to automation and AI. I've talked quite a lot about customer service, arts and creative work being highly impacted by the influx of AI in our daily roles, no, at the job. And then, of course, as you go further left, these are the jobs that are more insulated, more than usual. No? And then on the y-axis, the higher that you go here, the easier it is to be retrained to these certain skills, and the willingness is a lot higher to learn those skills. A good example would be versus versus certain skills. It's a lot easier to train in customer service than it is to learn more about arts and creative work. Or is it to learn about social care vis-a-vis, let's say, trying to learn about sales? No. So what is this graph trying to say? If you are currently employed or if you're currently training for jobs here on the right hemisphere, I suggest you need to think hard and really hard. Not because that these jobs would no longer exist in the future. These jobs would be pivoting and you need to be prepared for that pivot. But if you want to be indispensable within those industries that you selected on the right, you need to also upskill yourself with the skills that you can find on the left hand corner. So if you want to be in customer service, all well and good as long as you're able to upskill on that one, but you need to upskill in roles outside of customer service as well towards management so that you don't have just skills in customer service, you also have skills in management and human resources so that you become indispensable in your organization. It's quite important. Uh, in most companies, especially during the pandemic, it would be the specialists, only those that bring a single task to the workplace that are first to be removed. Um, there's this one scientist in in the 1700s, uh, early 1800s, I believe, Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin said that it would be the specialists who are the first to become extinct. It would be the generalists who would survive towards the end. And a bit echoing on that one, why are the generalists the ones that would be surviving apocalyptic scenarios? Because they're able to bring different skills to the table. No, just like you, I would strongly suggest if let's say you're going to go into finance and auditing, also upskill to certain things such as management, human resources. No, these are the skills that would really make you blossom in the workplace and make you very very influential and very sought after to other companies as well. So if there's any slide I would love to share with you and for you to remember, it would be this one. Okay. Now, you're asking me right now, all right, upskilling pala yung kailangan natin gawin. So, for Filipinos, where do we usually upskill? How do we usually upskill? And as you can see here in the image right now, we're mostly still traditional. Post-pandemic, pre-pandemic, the top means of upskilling is by OJT. And I'm sure the College of St. Anthony is doubling down on this one as well, because it shows how much, based on doing a OJT or experiencing an OJT, can influence how well you do in your own careers. No, it's something that would be highly influential in the way that you'll be seen in the next 5 years after you graduate from college and university. No, um, conferences, self study, but beyond these items that are highlighted in red, I want you to focus on the number six item here, mobile apps, and number five, online educational institutions. You're probably wondering, Kuya Rafa, why are you making us focus on these items? Eh, ang baba ng rating niya. Yes, medyo mababa yung rating niya. But if you look at mobile apps, from 14% post-pandemic, it's now 34%. It's now mainstream. Online educational institutions from 28%, 47%. There has been a huge growth in these two areas of online and virtual learning. No? And I would strongly suggest that you tap into these items as well. Maybe pushing it a bit further. Once you graduate, I usually hold seminars and workshops for students when it comes to their resume. And the one of the top two questions that I always get asked when it comes to building a killer resume is, Sir Rafa, I'm just a fresh graduate. Do these companies recognize that I'm just a fresh graduate? And because I'm only a fresh graduate, there's not much that I can place on my resume. All I can place is what I did in high school, what I did in college, maybe some co-curricular activities as well. But beyond that, I don't have a wealth of experience that I can share. Unfortunately, I call BS on that one. You have in your pockets right now, everybody in this room, in this virtual room, has in their pocket a cell phone that can access the internet, that has information to a whole lot of different institutions and platforms that can provide upskilling for free. And those items you're able to place on your resumes, especially if these courses and these platforms are able to provide certifications as well. I do know for a fact, and I'll be discussing this here in Job Street for free. We give online certifications for free for Microsoft courses, even on topics as sophisticated as AI. We do have that one on soft skills. We also do have those items. If maybe not on Job Street, platforms like Coursera, Udemy, you do have them. And although they're hidden behind the paywall, these are institutions that can provide certifications that you can utilize for your resume to make yourself more attractive to whatever company or industry that you plan to apply to. No? So upskilling, it's no longer just a face-to-face activity. That's what I'm trying to say. It's no longer the traditional, although on the job training is still there. It's so valuable, but don't handicap yourself by only limiting yourself to face-to-face and physical uh, upskilling methods. There are a lot of things that you can do in the virtual space as well. So there's no excuse not to learn. So siguro if I'm going to leave you with a message, this is not my final slide, but if there's anything I would like to leave you, um, and this is probably going to be a question later on, and you're probably asking yourself that question, Sir Rafa, sa madaling salita, what skill do I need to upskill to in the next few years so that I would be indispensable in other industries? I will tell you, technology, the way that technology is moving right now. It's such a fast paced world right now. What could have been necessary right now may not be necessary in 3 years. What was necessary 3 years ago may not be as necessary as it is right now. But the upskilling skill that you need to upskill to, ang dami, ang dami ng upskilling, is that skill specifically. Having that mindset of upskilling, most people think, and some of my colleagues also think that it's very mathematical. I need to get X skills in order to remain. Oh, AI, learning chat GPT, yung in-upskillan ko. But in 10 years, it might not be that platform that make me big, no? So having that mindset of upskilling is a must in 2025 and beyond. So to avoid the skills gap, you need to upskill. As mentioned, the three things that I mentioned earlier. If you upskill, you have stronger job security. You won't be the first person if the company that you're employed to encounters a bad year, a bad quarter. You won't be the first person who will be replaced. It will be the specialists. Not really replaced, but unfortunately taken out. There would be more opportunities for promotion within your said organization. Your bosses would recognize that you contribute a lot and you're able to produce a lot more for them. And finally, you're able to attract more job opportunities. You become more attractive to not just the company that you're currently with, but to other companies as well. No, you have name recognition already. So those are the three things that would be awarded to you if you keep on upskilling. So please keep learning and keep on upskilling. Earlier, we were talking about online platforms in which you can upskill to. I am very happy to announce that here in Job Street, as I mentioned, we want you to have your best foot forward when it comes to pursuing your dream careers or your dream jobs. So we do have upskilling courses on our platform. All of these are for free. Ha? Uh, they're bite-sized information, bite-sized content. So let's say, pagkasakay mo ng jeep, pagsakay mo ng MRT, once you get to your station, you're able to go through a single episode already, no? So bite-sized content siya. We have skill certifications on our platform, community groups. So we do have the parang Reddit version of this one as well, in which if you have a question specific to a specialization, we have mentors there that are within the field that can provide you an answer to that one. And it has a regional footprint as well. We do have content both in English, and we also have content that is done by Filipino content creators as well. So, as mentioned, these are the certain industries or topics that we have on Career Hub. We call it Career Hub: job search advice, career advice, salary advice, critical for when you're starting to look at different careers or different jobs, sales, marketing topics, finance and business, design, technology, language learning, self development, leadership. So, all of these topics are available on our platform, again, for free. So, I strongly advise, I hope you're able to download our app and start using our Career Hub. Here's a QR code. I'll be sharing it. Hopefully, you guys are, ladies and gentlemen, are able to scan this. But beyond that, let me go back to your group. I hope down the line, I see some of you, let's say in the street of Manila or Bulacan, and hopefully I see you as a captain of industry. And you approach me and tell me, Sir Rafa, you were instrumental in how I was able to get here. And with that, I wish you all the best of luck and thank you for having me here today. And please feel free to fire me any questions or concerns in our Q&A portion or shoot me an email as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Rafa, for your talk. No, so hello everyone. I'm Miss Kathleen Alcayaga, the Guidance Associate of College of St. Anthony. Again, Sir Rafa, thank you for that insightful thought. So the floor is now open. If you have any questions you'd like our speaker to answer or expound upon, so you may press the raise hand button and wait for us to call on you, or feel free to send us a message in the chat box as well. In the meantime, here are some questions generated from the Google Forms that you have filled out during the registration. So, yan. So, for Sir Rafa, for the questions po, I think it is a more a generalized question. So, first question po, what specific future-proof skills should we look into? So, again, you mentioned about honing our skill set as early as now. So, what specific skills po kaya yung pwede naming simulan po na i-upskill right now?
Yeah, thank you for that question. And that one actually, I gave a bit of thought in answering that query because I can go different directions to that one. But I want first to answer it in such a way that it's ingrained in everyone's head that the key upskilling skill that you need to upskill to is upskilling itself. Because personally, I don't have the foresight of finding out in the next 5 to 10 years what are the skills that would be necessary. And not everything that we upskill to right now might be necessary in the future as well. But as long as you have that mindset to upskill, whatever changes in the environment, you'll be able to survive and able to adapt as well. No, that being said, um, the things that we need to upskill to right now, um, as highlighted in the graph earlier, it would be number one, management. Management is something that is rather critical right now. Uh, People management specifically, because it's hard to be replicated by AI. The penetration of AI into people management is not yet there. And talking about AI in itself, it's not just enough to be a observer on the outside and uh, and look at AI on a very shallow level. You need to understand not just how do we use AI, but why was AI developed in the first place? What goes into the thinking of developing AI? That's number two. Number three, top of mind, and this one is something that I believe would have a bit of sustenance in the next few years pa rin, app development. App development is highly critical. Not only in terms of coding and app development are not only critical for when you're able to find a job, but also in making it big. uh, the developer of who here knows Angry Birds? Smash that emoji button. All right, the person that created Angry Birds was someone from Vietnam who had no background in app development. Right now, just because of that one app, he was able to net like more than 100 million dollars, no, instantly making him a millionaire, no. And that is something that you may want in your back pocket as well. But beyond that, coding in the next few years is going to be very important as well. The maintenance of AI, the development of AI is going to be very critical. uh, Creating of websites and uh, similar platforms would always require uh, a certain level of coding. My example would be uh, the thing that I upskilled to in the past 5 years would be uh, SQL. SQL is coding for data scientists being able to pull data. Now, if you want to pursue a path in big data or data sciences, which was big in the past 10 years, then you need to upskill to skills such as SQL coding. But the most exciting areas that I can see right now would be in the development of apps. And of course, as mentioned, upskilling itself as a skill. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Okay, so thank you, sir, for answering the first question. So, for the next question, how can we adapt to the rise of AI tools in general?
How do we adapt to the sorry na cut ako.
How can we adapt to the
Ah,
rise of AI tools in general?
okay. Good question. I guess I touched upon it already earlier. We can't just be observers and people that just observe the rise of AI on the sidelines. We need to be active in its participation and in its development as well. Some schools and universities have been critical in the use of AI, and the debate is currently ongoing as well in the place of AI in society. Um, there was this occurrence more than nearly 100 years ago on the impact of nuclear energy on its positive uses and its negative uses. Sorry, ang layo ng connect nun. But what I'm trying to say is if certain people, if certain communities were pushing more towards the utilization of nuclear energy in the betterment of humanity rather than creating, let's say, the nuclear bomb, that would have made the conversation for the use of nuclear energy a lot more welcome to a lot of different countries and a lot of applications by different countries. But you have countries like, let's say, North Korea. The mere discussion of nuclear energy, our perception kagad is negative. We're at that stage right now with AI. No, we need to be active participants in how we're gonna use this in its application to society. Are we gonna use this to make our lives a lot easier? In which we foresee this as more of a tool for our daily lives to make our jobs a lot easier. That's one way to put it. Or are we gonna see AI as a tool by some corporations or some entities to do without human intervention altogether? That we no longer need humans in the jobs and I would only utilize AI to replace people. So that's the conversation that we have right now. And if you aren't active in the participation right now of where AI is going to go, then unfortunately, the rise of AI might end up in the same situation of which nuclear energy was nearly 100 years ago. It can be used for both and bad. Unfortunately, more for the bad right now rather than the good. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Okay, sir, thank you. So I think it will be the last question, sir. But again, thank you for answering the previous two questions po. For the last question, so I believe most of the participants today are grade 12 students from different schools. Can you give some helpful advice po for incoming college freshmen, and what do you advise to students who haven't decided on a program yet?
That's a good question. I'm gonna use my experiences heavily to answer this question. No? When I first applied for college, I applied for political science. You're thinking right now, Sir Rafa, you're in marketing. How do you, how did you end up doing marketing from Pol Sci? Aren't you supposed to be a lawyer? Um, In fact, I'll take it even further. My master's was in European studies, international studies, European affairs was my master's degree. How did you end up in marketing? I will tell you that your college degree isn't the make all be all. It has a huge impact to your job prospects in the future, yes, but I believe the number is around 40% of all college graduates go through their careers using the Tarzan career progression. Now, Tarzan career progression is, I don't know if you know Tarzan at the very least for Disney na lang. No? I hope you know Tarzan. But how does Tarzan swing from one tree to another? It's never in a straight line. He doesn't swing in a straight line. It's the same thing with your career. So, like myself, I was in political science, European studies. I swung hard to the right. I went from political science, I went to customer service. From customer service, I swung hard towards the left. I went through key accounts management. And then I swung again towards the right. I went to market research and analytics up until my final stay right now in marketing, which is, as I mentioned, marketing here in Job Street. So it's never a straight line, it's never a definite line. And a lot of the skills that you would be picking up from college and university, I would say utilize these skills as best you can in in the chosen field that you'll be selecting down the line. I'm guessing a lot of you don't know yet ano ba yung gusto kong gawin ko pagkatapos ng graduation. There's no problem in that. I'll tell you, I face the same problem as well. But how I position myself is when I applied to customer service after I graduated from political science, what were the skills that I had in political science that made me indispensable in customer service? The skills that I had in political science, my knowledge of people, my knowledge of statistics, these were very helpful when it came to customer service. I was able to um, be aware or be in the shoes of the people that I was talking to. Same thing with everyone here. Let's say I graduated in nursing, but maybe nursing is not what I wanted for myself to begin with. Let's say it's what my parents wanted me to take in college or university. But my heart is, let's say, find a very different field. Medicine, for example, medicine, sorry, finance. Let's say I wanted a background in finance instead. Continue on your path in nursing, but keep on upskilling on items which you have in finance. Um, if there's anything that I'd like to say, some of the highest paid personnel in hospitals are medical accountants. So they have both a background in medicine and in accountancy. You can utilize that. Or if you want to veer away, let's say using that example as well as a medical background, but wanting to pursue a background in accountancy, there are a lot of skills that you have there, which would be applicable to finance as well. The ability to become very studious, that skill in itself is applicable in the field of finance. Nobody in the field of finance would have the same grit of facing, uh, how would you say, adversity, especially during medical emergencies as well. If you're going to be facing those sorts of issues in an accounting firm as well. So you take these things and you proposition yourself as best you can in your chosen field once you reach to that point. No, I hope I was able to answer your question.
So, thank you, sir.
All right. There's this question here. Yung application po ba ni JobSheet pwede ba magamit ng mga gusto mag part-time job? Yes, there are part-time jobs available on JobStreet as well. All you gotta do is go to our platform and look for part-time jobs. So we have everything for everyone on our platform. So again, I encourage everyone to please go to to our platform. If it's not just for upskilling, but also for finding your career choices as well.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Rafa. So let me give the floor back again to Miss Ariane.
Thank you very much, Sir Rafa. I am an employee or currently, but I'm also learning a lot to upskill. It is very important for employees as well. So thank you for that. And thank you for answering our questions and for this wonderful time with you. And thank you as well, Ms. Jam Ashera, for joining us. If you are here, thank you very much. And the same is extended to the students who are in this Google Meet. Thank you very much for our CSA students, SSA students, and students all over Bulacan, perhaps. And everyone, please take note of the attendance form. We are sending it right now via Google form in the chat box. So please take note, as mentioned earlier, to those you need to fill this out because when you fill this, if you fill this out, uh, that is the only time we will give you a certificate of participation. And please be reminded that the acceptance of responses will be closed 10 minutes from now. So you only have 10 minutes to fill this out. Don't worry, it is short. So before the program comes to a close, please turn on your cameras so that we could have a quick photo opportunity to be led by Ms. Kat.
Everyone, kindly turn on your cameras. Sir Rafa as well. Okay. Okay. I'll, I'll give a minute to wait for the others. Okay. So for the picture taking, one, two, three. Okay. Another one. One, two, three. Okay. So thank you guys, and you may turn off your cameras now.
Thank you, everyone. And now, as our program comes to an end, let us all leave this meeting with this in mind. Remember, the future belongs to those who never stop learning. Upskilling is not just an option, it is the key to staying relevant and thriving in a changing world. So, have a wonderful day ahead and keep safe. Remember to fill out that attendance form for your certificate. Thank you.